all right. So a few more minutes. See if we can get a few people to jump on. If not, that's okay too. All right. All right, so all right, so all right, hello. If you are joining me for the first time, my name is Isabella Thatcher, and I have been doing lives every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here in this group, to share the lessons I've learned on the online space. Hello, Keith. How are you? Thanks for joining me. Hello, Jaden. Thanks for joining me. The past few lives I have done were about how love and prayers impact your business. I've also talked about persistence and the mindset. I have taught you a bit of math where I showed you it takes 1,000 clicks a week to get your $3,000 a month income and the freedom it will give you. And I've talked about taking action. I've also talked about mastery of emotions and even had shared with you a bunch of value I've gotten from a Zoom mastermind class with Tony Robbins and others. Last week, I touched on rich versus poor mindset. So if you want to go back and watch any of those lives, I'm sure you'll find them in the files in the video section in this group page. It's freezing in Minnesota, Keith. Well, it was hot today. It was over 80 in South Carolina here. So in the video section of this Discover Heal group, you can be sure and go back to watch any of those lives. Be sure to take notes when you do watch them. Today, however, I'm deciding to share with you my story. So if I do get a little bit of emotional, just bear with me, okay? So I was born in Daytona Beach, Florida, back in, I won't go back that far, but I will tell you that my dad was born in Italy and my mother was born in Turkey. So my parents were a bit strict on his kids. And we led a sheltered life. No dating until college and so forth. Education came first. Hello, Angeline. Thanks for joining. It wasn't until I graduated high school and joined the Navy that I got my first taste of the world. Now, in the Navy, I was a yeoman, which is basically a secretary for the captain. I quickly moved up in ranks and earned several ribbons. During my military experience, I ended up with the wrong crowd and started drinking in officers' clubs. Yeomans were the only other ranking military allowed to join the captain's club at the time. So I don't know how it is now, if they're allowed to be there or not. Because we were yeomans, we worked closely with the captains. We were allowed to go into the clubs with them. So we were privileged back then. So anyway, so now mind you, I've never was allowed to go out before all this. So I've never experimented with anything except for wine. In Italian families, we were allowed wine as kids. So the rum and tequila was a little rough on me, and I got into a little trouble. So during my A school, which is a training for your billing, for me it was the yeoman, I went to my first party. I was very naive, and a friend who I trusted and went to the party with, she left with a guy she had met at the party to get more beer, and basically never came back. At that same party, I was very drunk. I was lured to the bedroom. I was tied up, and forced to watch porno. I was very scared and I was very alone. And I was a virgin until he raped me. So when he finally let me go, there was nobody left at the party, and the $200 I had in my purse to go home that weekend on leave was stolen. So my first party, I had gotten drunk, I was abandoned, raped, and robbed. I didn't expect to experience all that in one shot, in one party. To this day, I have no idea how I got back to the barracks. After that, I didn't know who to trust. I basically stayed alone for a long, long time. I went through a bit of depression. My mindset went spiraling out of control. I was not good enough. I was not respected. I didn't trust anyone until one day a guy started to coax me into going out with him. And it took a long while. He seemed pretty sweet enough, and we had fun a few times. Went to dinner, out, and we even went for a ride on his motorcycle. Then one day, on a date, he forced himself on me, and I got pregnant. On top of that, he basically forced me to get an abortion. You can imagine how I was feeling now. Scared, depressed, felt like I was just a toy for any guy to use. At another party, this was all during the military, another party I went to ended up being gang raped, and by this point I stopped going to the parties. This is when I started going to counseling. The counselor had to help me reprogram my negative self-talk into the positive. And after a long time, I met someone else. Let me tell you, he had a hard time getting me to go out with him. And finally he did, and later we got married. All was great, and we got pregnant. But it didn't go well. I had a miscarriage. And I'm thinking it's because of the abortion that I was forced to get earlier, and maybe that's why I had a miscarriage. I'm not sure to this day. I didn't explore that. So we tried again, and this time I made it all the way to the 7 months, and then something went wrong, and we had to induce labor, and I had a stillborn. So 2 times we tried with my husband, and we didn't end up having a child. My husband went into depression, passed away. All he ever wanted was a son. At this point, I was robbed, I was raped on 3 occasions, I lost 3 children, and lost a husband. The only success I've had this far was completing the boot camp and getting a few ribbons in the military. I was out of the military by now, working and living at home with my parents. I looked for an office job, and there was none at the time. I had to, let me see here. Okay, both your parents were born in Greece. That's great, Angeline. That's pretty neat. Hey, Troy, how's it going? Hey, Allie. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Steven, how you doing? Yeah, Angeline, I'm trying to not cry, so bear with me, guys. So, like I said, by this point, I've lost 3 children, and I lost my husband. And then I got out of the military, working and living at home with my parents, looked for an office job, and there was none at the time, because I was a yeoman working in the office for the captain, so, excuse me. So I was trying to find something else because I like to work in the office. It's what I'm good at. So I had to settle for fast food, and I knew I didn't want to work for Wendy's for the rest of my life. So I looked online for a job, and at that time there wasn't really any solid companies like Heal. So I jumped in on a few quote unquote opportunities, and thus began my learning online marketing. It took 6 years of being by myself, and working and learning before I considered dating again. Found my second husband. We were together for a number of years, and then he decided I wasn't good enough, and he cheated on me. So thus was my first divorce. So married twice, divorced, husband cheated on me, husband on depression, died on me, lost 3 kids, putting myself down all the time. And the only thing that I've had successful this far was just being in the military and graduating from boot camp. I've never had any successes since then. So I really never quite got over my past, and that is the main reason I could not move forward in the online marketing business space. So think about that. If you can't let go of what's holding you back, you will not be able to move forward. It wasn't until Daniel Kump showed me the heal, and I watched Stephen Munson's story, that I finally began to heal my past and hurts. And being a woman of God, it really helped me get a hold of the truths that a lot of us forget. Like, for instance, God says, "You are beautiful." It's in Psalms 45:11. God does not lie. God says, "You are unique." Psalms 139:13. Again, God cannot lie. God says you are loved. Jeremiah 31:3. God cannot lie. God says you are special. Ephesians 2:10. God cannot lie. God says you are created with a purpose. Jeremiah 29:11. God cannot lie. God says you are cared for. Ephesians 3:17-19. God cannot lie. God says you are precious. 1 Corinthians 6:20. God cannot lie. God says you are strong. Psalms 18:35. God cannot lie. God says you are important. 1 Peter 2:9. Again, God cannot lie. God says you are empowered. Philippians 4:13. God cannot lie. God says you are forgiven. No matter what you did in the past, you are forgiven. Psalms 103:12. God cannot lie. I don't know about you, but now I choose to believe what God says and not my own negative beliefs. This is why mindset is so, so important. This is why you have to have the vision in front of you constantly, because those negatives and past things that happened to you in the past will come back creeping back. They won't let go. Like Stephen Munson said in a post this morning, he said, "Stop running from your struggles. Stop hiding your fears. Stop lying about your victories. Stop claiming your doubts. Stop pleasing your critics. Declare today and every day that you are enough and you can do this." See, you have to take the action to change your mindset and the way you feel. You cannot wait till you feel up to it, because it'll never come. I did not feel like getting up this morning and doing my exercises and doing my mindset and everything. I wanted to sleep in. I didn't want to do it. But if I missed one day, that's like 30 days of the stuff that I did in the back. It'll reset itself. Every one day that you miss is 30 days that you have put yourself behind. You don't want to do that. You don't want to miss one day. Keep in the front of your mind your vision and constantly feed your mind the person you want to become. Have the strong mindset feeding your subconscious in the background always, 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 and you will win. Let's see here. Hey Sabrina, how are you doing, hon? Let's see. Thank you, Mandy. Love you too, Stephen. Let's see. Thank you, Adam. see anybody else. So tonight was a short live. If you've missed any of it, hey, thank you, Tom. So if you missed any of it, please go back, review over those God truths. That's a lot of the truths that I use for my affirmations in the mornings. That may help you too. Like I said, God cannot lie. So, love you, Adam. Thanks, Angelina. So, like I said, this is a short video. I'm available usually every Tuesday night, 6 o'clock at Eastern Standard Time. I will not be here next Tuesday night. Next Tuesday night, I have a family affair that I have to go to, so I won't be here next Tuesday night. But I am usually here every Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I tried my best to share value to you guys, share what I've learned, and tonight I just wanted to share a little bit of my story. If anybody has not known me, now you know a little bit more about me. Hello, Edmund. How are you? So if you guys will allow me to, I'm going to, thank you, Stephen. I'm going to go ahead and end this tonight. Thank you, everyone who has joined me tonight. If any of the videos you've missed in the past lives, I'm pretty sure that they're still in the video section of this Discover Heal page, up in the media. So if you can, that's right, Eva, stop running away from your struggles. So anyway, the final question is, what time is it? It's time to heal. Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day. It's on you. Thank you again, everyone. God bless and good night.